Alright, so it has arrived. Here is the giant crossbow. It requires a windlass to span. This is a 15th century model. And today I'm just gonna try it out for the first time. It's not gonna be too much in the way of armor tests yet. I've got some padded armor pieces and I'm gonna take a shot at, but there will be a lot more. So right now it's just general operation and how it performs and all that. And of course, a big thank you once again to everybody who contributed to the fundraiser. So this is pretty awesome. This is how the windlass works. It's a bit more of a process compared to the other crossbow with the goat's foot lever. But, you know, you're getting a lot more power, of course. Alright, so since it is the first day shooting it, I don't know yet where to aim and how and blah. It's probably a little different from the other crossbow. And operation and all, it's not going to be quite as smooth yet, but we'll survive. It definitely is loud enough to suggest that hearing protection might be a good idea. Yeah. Because even if it's not unbearably loud or anything like that, it'll still wear down your hearing over time. In a previous video I shot a gambeson, or rather a modern interpretation of a gambeson, with another bow made by Todd, this one with a draw weight of 350 pounds. I couldn't fit it over the target, so this ended up being 2 layers, so unusually thick. The bolts bounce right off, at least the ones with points that are somewhat more similar to field tips. The broadhead did achieve some penetration but didn't go very far. It was also tested on butted and riveted mail. The bolt pierced the butted mail but bounced off the double layer of gambeson, and didn't do much against riveted mail at all. This time I didn't have the same gambeson with me, so for consistency at some point I'll have to redo the test with the same bolts and the same piece of gambeson. But for now this is just to see how this crossbow with a needle bodkin bolt performs against one layer of fairly simple lightweight padding. Alright, so it hit close to a previous cut, but this spot right there I don't think was damaged before. Let's take a look. It's interesting how it bunched up here. Yeah, that's quite a bit that went in. It definitely was not one of those cuts that went all the way through. Okay, oh, that was surprisingly easy to get out. And it was, yeah, previously undamaged. Right here, so that's good. Yeah, that rips right through. Although it didn't get quite as far as I thought it might. So even though this piece looks quite torn up, that spot that was just hit was undamaged, so that's good. And oh yeah, it burned itself quite deeply. for comparison, there's a modern compound crossbow, and this is not a fair comparison. It's more of a fun comparison, because these bolts here are far lighter, and the points are smaller, so there is a lot less resistance, and of course far higher velocity on this one, because it's way more mechanically efficient, and of course this is way easier to aim. I can quite easily say bottom left, and it'll hit just there. Also note in the slow-mo footage how much slower the heavier wooden bolt flies, and how much it makes the cloth cave in compared to the fast, lightweight carbon bolt. So yeah, as said, not a fair comparison, but just kind of fun to see the difference here. So yeah, as said, way smaller contact surface, much higher speed. So this will just drill right in, whereas the other bolt will disperse more energy, so it will technically deliver more of the momentum to the target, but it'll spread it out more. If you're wondering how hard it is to span this crossbow, the mechanical advantage of the windlass makes it fairly easy. It's only towards the end where the resistance gets a little higher, but it's not difficult. Although I can say after half a day of doing this over and over again, I did feel it in the arms and back a little bit. Well, that was close, but not quite. That's in there pretty good. Well, that strap placement was a bit unfortunate. It didn't actually get the mail, even though it looked very close. It really is a small target to hit. So the difficulty with aiming here is because you don't have sights, you have to put the tip of the bolt a certain point above or below the target, depending on the distance. And the smaller the target is, the harder it is to find a reference point to adjust if you're off by just a little bit. Alright, there we go. So that finally hit it right in the center where I want it. Well, that's what this type of point is perfect for. It likely finds its way through one of the rings, spreads it open, and then it can drive right through. And yeah, as you can see, riveted mail on top of a gambeson is not enough against a 15th century windlass crossbow with this sort of draw weight. Let's see if I can get this off. There we go. Okay, here's a close-up of the damage. You can see nice, neat hole punched through, and we've got damaged rings sticking out here. There's another one. I mean, I'm pretty sure this limits the penetration the bolt can achieve, but yeah, I don't think this is survivable, depending on where it hits. Alright, so how about sturdier padded armor? Now I've got the padded jack set up on the target, and we'll see how that goes. Should be pretty tough material. I mean, I know it is. It took very sharp swords and good technique to get through that. But then again, the needle bodkin, once again, should prevail, I think. Let's see what we get here. Much larger target, way easier. Okay, that's pretty impressive. Now, it certainly limited the penetration compared to having no armor, quite significantly, in fact. See how much we have here. Oh wow, that's pretty stuck. Alright, so about this much, which is, pretty good. But, I mean, with no armor, this would bury itself up to the flights. So there's a close-up. This is really sturdy material. Plenty of layers of cotton and linen. So it's not easy to penetrate at all. Now, one thing you should keep in mind is that this is comparatively short distance. This was only about 10 meters, not exactly battlefield distance in general. So over longer distances, of course, the bolt would lose quite a bit of kinetic energy. Testing this, on the other hand, would be rather difficult. I don't think I could hit a target like this at 100 meters or even 50 meters. Whereas on a battlefield, you have this entire mass of people that you can aim at and you're gonna hit something. You can just essentially shoot in the general direction. It's not that hard to hit something. I think I'm getting better with it, the loading. Practice, practice, practice. Well, so unfortunately this hit where there was a previous sword cut, but this cut didn't go very far, it didn't go all the way. And this still also hit areas around it. So I'm just going to have to leave it at that. It's getting late today, but I can see the needle bodkin is actually more effective than this, which is surprising. I expected this to go further because it can cut potentially. I mean, it's probably too dull for that. It's also nice and thin, but then again, it gets pretty wide. So yeah, there's that. More tests to come. By the way, one of the most time-consuming things on that day was digging for bolts. I didn't want to shoot at the regular target stands because due to the power of the crossbow, if the bolt hits wood or even just styrofoam, it's really hard to get it out, almost impossible. So instead I shot at the broadhead pit and, well, they really drill far into it. I was happy to have a folding shovel with me. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video and thanks for watching.